This is Jonathan Ferguson, the Keeper of Firearms and Artillery at the Royal Armouries Museum in the UK, which houses a collection of thousands of iconic weapons from throughout history. And I'm your host, Dave Jewett. Today, we're at the Royal Armouries in person for Christmas, our month-long series of very special episodes where we'll be checking out a selection of weird and wonderful weaponry from across video games and movies. Today, however, isn't cursed at all, as we're going to be breaking down the festive favourite, Die Hard.
I'm sorry, people say this isn't a Christmas movie. He's using Christmas wrapping tape to do this, and there are Christmas jingle bells on the score.
I will maintain that this is, if you want it to be a Christmas movie, it's a Christmas movie.
Not a question of if you want to or not. It is, definitively.
Well, Jonathan says so, and he's the one holding the Beretta.
Each episode will contain a secret special gift for Jonathan. Stay tuned to find out what this week's gift is, and if you want to treat yourself, be sure to check out our selection of cursed shirts and accessories at expvideo.info. We also have a longer director's cut version of this episode on our Patreon, link in the description below for that extended cut. But now, without further ado, let's get into the video.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
John McClane's Beretta
Yes.
92.
Iconic for Die Hard and Lethal Weapon franchises, of course, and it's the same prop, if I remember rightly. There are lots of photos of the prop. It's been in tons of movies. It had left side controls adapted to it for Bruce Willis, who is left-handed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, the slide release, because it's fairly ambidextrous as it is, really, but the slide release is modified. It's nearly my favourite pistol, and loose as a type of pistol, it probably is my favourite pistol. Yeah, quite an unusual design, really. If you think about the classic Browning arrangement of semi-automatic pistol, this does things a bit differently with that P38 lineage of locking, the open-topped slide, just something about the look of that. Very purposeful, but quite elegant. Very Italian. I think the only consistent complaint you hear about this is the safeties, because you go to grab it and you sort of potentially knock the safety on, then maybe not. I don't know, I don't have a problem with them, and I shoot these really well as well. Something about the ergonomics and the size of the grip, the size of my hands, and maybe the lower mass of the slide coming back means that I fire a shot and the sights are back where they were. I don't have to twist it down in my hand.
I've shot a few pistols, and that is probably one of my favourite ones that I've shot.
But yeah, in a 1988 context, 15 rounds of 9mm. It's not small by any means, but there's a reason it won the US military contest to replace the 1911. It's pivotal to the movie, as much as the MP5 is.
You know that game with the guns that shoot red paint? Probably seems kind of stupid to you.
Not a fan of how he rides the slide forward in that scene, or the fact that he does that in front of hands and gives them the opportunity to see that it's empty. I don't know if we could, maybe on a Blu-ray big screen, I can't remember if you can see whether it's empty or not. But in theory, he is emptying the gun to give to him so that he's harmless, or unarmed anyway. And he's just held at an angle where if he knows his guns, which he knows he must, he could see that it doesn't have a round in it. I think you can see that it doesn't have a round in it.
Yeah.
Hans doesn't check the weapon when he takes it off him. Now, he's thinking on his feet, he's improvising, maybe it's plausible that he wouldn't.
Yeah, because if he's trying to roleplay as there's the bumbling fool that doesn't understand guns, he wouldn't instinctively check the magazine or... Because the previous paintball guns he's used probably they weren't quite as authentic as this. So maybe it's a continuation of his roleplay, and you could subtly check if the safety was off.
Yeah, I guess. And I suppose press checks are a relatively modern thing, but if it was me and my life was on the line, okay, I've just been role-playing the bumbling idiot, but I would quickly see if it...
Especially when his back is turned.
But then he's bought into McClane's deception. He's seen him load it and make it ready, if he didn't notice that there wasn't a round going into the chamber, which is plausible that he wouldn't if he's looking at his face at the time. He's trying to get a read from him, he's also looking at the gun. There's a lot going on. Of all of the crazy stuff that happens in this movie, that's not really a big one. And I don't like the way Hans holds the 92 with his little finger on the bottom of the base plate, which it would probably put... Like, I struggle to get a suitably high grip if I do that as well. So you've got a really bad grip on the gun. Yeah, he's a very casual, cold killer, so he's like, yeah, whatever, I don't really care how I'm holding this gun. And that, as acting with a gun, I think that's really good. It's like, I'm gonna kill you and not even think about it. But in terms of actual skill, yeah, you don't wanna... This is a huge grip on this gun. This pivotal scene. So this gun, in fact, I don't know if you can see it, but on my jumper, there is a representation, it's not a Beretta, but of the old gun taped to the back scene, which is one of my favourite gun-related endings to a movie. There are a few we could go through.
I love that that's a category.
But this scene, so this is, if I was going to show, I don't know, a filmmaker or something, how to do tension through the medium of not just guns, but limited ammunition. Because for most of this film, we don't really care. Like okay, he's made a point of gathering ammo for the MP5. We get the sense that he's in survival mode, he's got limited ammo, that's all we need. The actual firing is kind of, yeah, we're not counting rounds. But then we get to the end and whatever he's been shooting, he's down to 2 rounds. And he takes those 2 rounds and he goes, what do I do with these? And then we get to I've got a little bit of a chill talking about it. It's such good writing. It's so well shot. And you think, first time round, you think, oh, what's he going to do? How's he going to get out of this? And he's put the 2 rounds in his Beretta mag, and he's taped the gun to his back. Of all the guns to choose, that's a fair bit of weight to hang off some Christmas wrapping tape. Like actual duct tape, if he maybe wipes down the sweat first, maybe you could do it. Mind you, he does do it. Someone tapes a gun to their back in this. So I'm not even going to give that negative points for that.
And it shows how resourceful the character is, which then carries on through the rest of the franchise.
And you just, although it shows you the tape, like the first couple of times you're like, but what would you do with the tape? Because you just wouldn't think of this.
No, I mean, I'm not even flexible enough to reach that far back.
There is that. But I'm sorry, people say this isn't a Christmas movie. He's using Christmas wrapping tape to do this, and there are Christmas jingle bells on the score.
I'm on your side.
That's just that bit.
Yeah. I will maintain that this is, if you want it to be a Christmas movie, it's a Christmas movie.
Not a question of if you want to or not. It is, definitively.
Well, Jonathan says so, and he's the one holding the Beretta.
Yeah, HK P7, specifically the P7, helpfully written on there, HK P7 M13. So that refers to the magazine capacity, which is, so you can see, well, we haven't got another one to compare on the table, but it's an extra wide frame to accommodate a semi-double stack. It's not fully double stack.
Yeah, double stacked and then narrows.
Double stacked to single feed and uneven on each side. So quite an unusual mag design. But so this is being designed for a single stack mag. So it's the sort of width of its slide. Capacity becoming a thing, an issue for buyers. They came up with this wider version sometime in the 80s, a few years before this. So this is quite up to date as a model. And it's this weird squeeze cocking system, which doesn't kind of pay off in the movie at all. It's not why they've chosen it, but it's mechanically interesting. Designed for police use for ultimate safety. Some say so that if it's taken off you by a bad guy, that they won't be able to use it because they won't know to positively squeeze to fire it off. None of that comes into Die Hard. The suppressor does, and ironically, this is not fitted for a suppressor. So Hollywood, even to this day, likes to use an internal thread on the muzzle to allow the gun to look completely normal and just thread on a suppressor. You could do it that way, but you're destroying the rifling at the muzzle end, which is perhaps the most critical portion of the rifling for accuracy. So you would never do that. This is why pistols, there are tactical models of modern pistols with a little bit of an extended barrel with thread on it, usually with a protector. Or, back in the day, you would just swap the barrel out for one that's threaded and screw on your suppressor. So it's a fake suppressor. Another good example of how guns are used in this movie for not just as set dressing. He's got his suppressed P7 to obviously not alert security guards or whatever on this mission, this heist that they're doing. And he just sort of coolly, in a cool, calculated way, just unthreads it and sets it on the desk. Like, I don't need this. Why would I be... Two reasons I'd be taking this suppressor off. One is because I'm going to put it away. The other is that I know I can make a loud noise and kill you in front of your colleagues. And it's clear that this is it's the second option that he's going for, that he's threatening. It's an implied threat. Rather than just point it at him. He does then rest the gun on the desk, but he does it facing toward the victim. Like, at any point I can I dare you to try and grab this off me. That's another element to this. Admittedly, he has his henchmen around him. Oh, a word on the finish. That's a shiny finish. Well, quite a dull one, actually. That is apparently a hard chrome finish. That, which I also believe, was not a factory option. You could get a nickel-plated one, I believe. Was it stainless? There was a silver-coloured finish, but it wasn't this. So this has been finished by Stembridge Gun Rentals, who did all the guns for this. They would have had that done, I assume, either for this movie or for another one. There are photos of the real prop, and several of the real props actually, on IMFDB, and you can see that finish with some wear on it.
I think the silver finish adds to Hans Gruber's character that he's of status, probably got some money. Money enough to set this up.
Totally agree. Also helps it stand out against his clothing. Mm-hmm. It's not shiny chrome or nickel, so it's not ostentatious. It's just a notch up. And it's this weird gun that you wouldn't have seen. Like, the casual viewer is probably thinking PPK, looks a bit like a Bond gun or something, not really thinking about it. Anyone that knew a bit about guns is going, oh, that's something different, or that's an HKP7.
And something German.
And something German, yeah. A bit of a theme throughout is that these guys bring German and Austrian firearms with them, which is perhaps implausible. You probably buy guns in country, and where they get some of these exotic, I mean, this would have been available, I think, at this time. Full auto MP5s, well, we might be coming to that. If we were to match them up top trump style, we've got 13 rounds versus 15 rounds. We've got the same cartridge type, slightly shorter barrel, but not enough to make any real appreciable difference. I might prefer this is a bit more compact, but, well, a lot more compact actually than the 92, but then you've got to worry about squeeze cocking it. If these two were just to have a straight up pistolero gunfight, I'd put my money on McClane with his 92. MP5s, except not.
Except not.
I mean, they do a good job. They play MP5s on TV, on my TV. I love that. There's nothing more 80s than a mullet, a big leather jacket, and a side pose. It's just that guy cracks me up every time I watch that film. It's like a Conan with his sword pose. I love it. It's so funny. And I guess it's meant to be intimidating. I find it funny, but maybe I wouldn't in the moment.
If you're in an elevator full of people, the only safe place to point the muzzle.
Well, yeah, he's not doing wrong safety-wise. You probably don't want it pointing down. Pointing up is good. And it presents it. It's great in terms of it. We know stuff like it's German, it's relatively modern, it's very successful, it's accurate, it's rapid fire, it's relatively lethal. The audience doesn't necessarily know that. They may or may not have seen it before. They go, oh, it's cool, it's black, it's with these guys who are cool and dressed in black. So it's a great character as a bad guy gun. Mm-hmm. But then, of course, it will soon become a good guy gun.
But it's also not just an MP5, is it?
Yeah, so we've picked what it should be and what you'll see a few years later in the sequels. I think I hope I'm right about this. Die Hard 2 onwards, the MP5s that show up they look like real MP5s. They're still not. They're still converted and cut down from these. HK94 takes the normal magazine, of course. We haven't got one in there. And it's the 16-inch barrel for easier purchase in the US. Not that you can't have a short-barreled one, but it was an expense and a difficulty that some people didn't want to go to. So the original civilian version of the MP5 was this. The HK94. Long barrel with, well, not always. Some of them don't have the shroud. I don't know if the ones they cut down, because that's what happened. They cut the barrels down to this length. Don't know if they had the shroud or not. And it comes with that foregrip as well. Not really sure why. And then the big giveaway, this is fixed stock, obviously, but you could swap it over. There's sliding stocks in the movie. The steel lower receiver with the separate pistol grip, like a G3. That, for whatever reason, when they went for semi-auto, they went for a totally different design, and they went with a metal lower, and you can see that clearly in the movie. So that's been converted internally to full auto, and the barrel's been cut down. You can tell it's been cut down because it doesn't have the tri-lug lugs on the barrel. So it's very much a movie gun, and these things show up in a number of different films. They get more realistic over time, but...
Yeah, this era of movies really lent on... So many movies feature the MP5, but it was more common to have one of these than
not
an
only
actual
more
MP5.
common, there were no full auto genuine MP5s. All they could get as dealers were these. So they had no option but to convert them. Later, they could get the parts to make them look more realistic, like the lugged barrel and the correct lower.
Little slap?
The slap, the HK slap, that's one of the early ones. And again, done for emphasis. Now, why would he be walking along with it in that position? Because he could pop out and shoot him any time. He's not going to be walking along with it unable to fire. But again, it's that kind of casual bad guy, I don't need to worry about that. And what I'm going to do is deliberately keep it back and then so that he hears that and soils himself. He's underestimated John McClane.
Which is really the plot of every Die Hard movie, punctuated by this individual.
I do have that on my jumper. Now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho, with several MP5s.
It's not grey though.
No, well I don't generally wear light grey.
Oh, Chris, we might have to change that. Do you head to the tree?
Is this another present moment?
This is another present moment.
Amazing. I suppose I should say it's not a machine gun, it's a submachine gun. But in a US legal context, it is a machine gun.
Well, that's a cop.
So we
That's
can allow
probably
it.
How he's considering it.
No, in all fairness, he probably would.
You've probably guessed what this one is.
Nice. Oh, that's excellent. Now, see, what I will wear is a replica of the actual thing. That's brilliant. Very good. Although I will draw the line at the matching bottoms.
Yeah, we haven't got
That's
any of
okay
those.
with you.
No, yeah, that's absolutely fine.
I'd love to know, actually, and here I'm going to address the actor and the character. A lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, he actually has his finger outside the trigger guard. I don't know what sort of boot camp Bruce Willis went through for this. It wouldn't have been anything too exacting. But he does carry and use guns like he's done it before, which I guess he had. But, you know, you don't get that, oh, it's a Hollywood actor thing. He convinces. Yeah, we've got the hip fire thing, but that in period is totally plausible, especially in the desperate situation he's in where he's just trying to put rounds down. This reload, very hasty. I've got to get the bolt open. I've got to get the mag changed. He's been instructed.
Well, because he's left-handed, is he reaching over the weapon instead of slapping it, pushing it with his offhand with his thumb?
Yes, he is. Yeah, so he can't do the full slap well, he could, but it would be, you've got to...
So he's reaching over and just...
Yeah, which is my point. So the actor has clearly been instructed on how to use this. Is it plausible that a New York detective would know how to run an MP5 that slickly? Arguably. Like if he's spending time with the SWAT guys, off duty, something like that, maybe he spent some time on a SWAT team. We don't know.
Yeah, are any John McClane historians out there?
The stock, he doggedly refuses to use the stock as intended, but he does use it, as we're about to see. And another great moment of gun tension, scene tension through the medium of firearms, in that you're constantly terrified that it's going to give way, because that seems quite robust, but you also think, well, it's quite thin and spindly, and you see it flex.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that to hold my weight.
I probably would. I wouldn't trust myself. I'd fall to my death. But I might trust this.
You're right, it's a perfect weapon to create that tension. They needed something with a thinner folding stock for that scene.
And also something that I think it adds value, that it's kind of hidden to the audience. If they're not aware that it's there, and he's just like, he's problem solving, he's improvising, he's surviving. I'm not going to try it with a real MP5, but I think it would hold it. I mean, they wouldn't have hung a human weight off it for the reverse shot, but they're clearly applying a lot of weight to it, because it really does look like it's under some tension.
Yeah. I'd forgot the barrel wasn't on.
Yeah, on the Steyr AUG, or AUG, as many call it. Yeah, I know, and I think, again, that's some great gun acting.
Yeah, it feels like he's in charge because he's got a bigger gun. And he's massive.
So if the MP5 goes from being a bad guy gun to a good guy gun, the substitute bad guy gun becomes the AUG. And I love they've kind of adapted the takedown sniper rifle cool guy factor. So for practical purposes, yeah, of course you would have this stowed like this in a backpack. Makes perfect sense that he'd do it. And you also get that, ooh, what's this he's pulling out of his rucksack?
Because not a lot of people would have seen this gun when Die Hard released.
No, this is 11 years after it first emerged. And just the idea that something that isn't a sniper rifle, because they'll have seen things like Day of the Jackal with guns that take down. No one will have seen something like, well, a bullpup that's visibly plastic and space age looking, and then one where you pull the barrel out, he pulls the barrel out separately and purposefully locks it in like really, really good.
He jabs Bruce Willis in the face quite hard with
does.
this. Like, that probably still hurt quite a bit.
I feel like there's a behind-the-scenes bit of information there where no one's ever asked, to my knowledge, and I've never seen it written down, but I'm sure that would be very painful.
Yeah.
People train to use muzzle strikes in lieu of effectively a bayonet. Because you hear this all the time in behind the scenes where there's a slap or a punch and someone accidentally hurts another actor and is really apologetic. I'm sure that's one of those cases. But it's such a great gun, the way he one-hands it. Bullpups are balanced really well for one-handing it, and he's sufficiently buffed to do it for an extended period as well. I'm already getting tired. So it's a great choice from that perspective. Somehow he ends up with it wrapped up in his body bag with him, I think.
Yeah, because he bursts out of the body bag later with it.
So they've dutifully got his apparently dead body. Let's pretend, like, the fact that he's still alive after that's one of the less plausible bits of the movie, to be honest. He's been visibly killed and he reanimates. Okay, we get weird cases, maybe.
Bury him with his AUG.
Whoopsie. The poor hapless SWAT guys. I love that bit so much.
Hurting his hand.
Just, they've turned up in their tactical beanies, which was the fashion at the time, the style at the time, in contemporary SWAT team gear with contemporary SWAT rifles, M16s, or not, perhaps. And just the way the guy, there's so many little bits of humour in this, and that's one of my favourites. Ooh! So the rifles are, if I remember rightly, they're a mixture of Colt SP1s. So controversially, but it's fact. The AR-15 is designed as a fully automatic weapon. Then it becomes the M16 militarily. And then in parallel, the AR-15 SP1 is invented very early on, but it didn't come first. People like to think that the civilian semi-auto came first. It did not, but nonetheless, it did exist. And so it gets used all the time in the movies, often converted to auto. Think of Predator with the amazing scenes. They're not real M16s, they're SP1s. But they also have MGC, Model Gun Company of Japan, cap guns.
Oh.
Glorified cap gun. And if I remember rightly, it's a mixture of those two. Probably intended to have the MGCs in the background and the SP1s up close. Because the slick side, the only giveaway for the SP1 is the nut and bolt pivot in front, instead of the pivot pin of a full auto AR-15. And it's interesting they don't have MP5s, because they plausibly could.
But by this point, that's the bad guy to good guy gun, isn't it?
Yes. You don't want everyone having MP5s. Yeah, this rocket launcher, I remember early days of IMFDB going on there to try, because I'd always wondered what it was. Long story short, it's completely made up. It's not anything real. It's all about something cool and purposeful and dramatic.
Yeah.
So the flip down legs and they're bolting it to the deck.
Immediately makes it feel powerful.
Yeah, it's even though, I guess more so a recoilless weapon, but that's not a huge issue. You could shoulder fire. It's only really the weight you need a mount for a weapon like this. Well, I say that if you don't need to go to the trouble of bolting it to the floor, but it's so cool that they do. Kind of not based on anything in particular. I wouldn't be comfortable pinning that to any particular type of anti-tank weapon.
Yeah, I've seen games have those launches with the sort of eye mount. But again, that might have been a sort of unique game design thing.
They'll be looking at things like the Stinger anti-aircraft weapon, but this is an anti-tank weapon. There probably is something that we could say is the nearest parallel.
That does that? Or maybe that's a single optic as well.
Well, yeah, also anti-aircraft. So it's a Soviet anti-aircraft guided weapon. This is apparently not guided. It's really just like a bazooka. I guess it's something, if you're doing it now with access, because they have more access now to serious kit, you might have an SPG-9 recoilless weapon. You might just do it with an RPG-7. But they clearly wanted something that seemed bigger and more powerful, even though it doesn't exactly totally kill the armoured car.
Yeah.
Which used to kind of give me pause for thought. But then, having seen a lot of combat footage later on and heard stories from people who've been in combat, stuff can survive. Yeah, there he is. But it's such a great scene.
He gets the most intense music out of all the entire film.
Yeah, he does. It's the big moment. He gets it, he's not just the comedy relief sidekick. Well, I guess.
He's not just fetching Twinkies for his pregnant wife.
And I think he acts it really well. As much as we're joking there about, I guess he can shoot people again. You get that look on his face of
he acted on instinct or training.
Yeah,
and he's I've acted.
He's kind of impressed that he's done the job. He's a bit somber about having done it. But he's overcome his, a bit like Terry in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he's managed to overcome his psychological block.
Yeah.
And then he's there ready to engage again But he's like, easy there, Tiger. And the gun as well, an excellent bit of casting. So if they flexed the McClane's 92 as not standard issue, but something that an NYPD detective could plausibly have and a cool action movie weapon, they gave Al something that was absolutely standard, as I understand it, LAPD beat cop issue.
In cop-related things,
Not in anger.
it's shorthand for the old school, older cop takes the revolver. It's a thing in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes.
The younger ones, magazine-fed pistol.
Yes, absolutely. Now, in this case, it's not so much that as you get what you're given, as my nanny used to say. So as a beat cop in LA, this is his only choice. So he carries it, he uses it, he's trained to use it. It's the Smith & Wesson Model 15, 38 Special, perfectly capable weapon. In the 80s, maybe, like in the heights of violent crime now, you don't want to be stuck with 6 rounds of 38 Special and maybe a 12 gauge in the trunk. So not something you're likely to see today. If, God forbid, they ever remade this movie.
Oh no, don't put that.
I'm rioting.
Don't put that evil into existence. It's a perfect movie.
They wouldn't include that.
This is their idea of Christmas. I gotta be there for New Year's.